Okay, this is my first, well, it's actually my second attempt at doing a video blog. I just recorded one, but I forgot to do it with sound, which is fucking irritating. Alright, okay, I'll start with a bit on myself really. I'm Chris, and for the next 100 days, well, for the next 96 days, 95 days, I can't remember, I'm trying to make 100k. I've already played 5, so the goal was 100k in 100 days. Via any means, via profit and rake back. I'm not setting a that it all has to be done via complete profit. I imagine the split will probably be 70-30 and sort of pure profit to rake back or something like that. Yeah, which should be nice because I need to keep my hourly high in order to do this. At the moment, I'm not doing too badly. I'm on about 3.8k after 4.5 days. I've got the rest of today to play, but I've got about 250 odd thousand. I've got a 4k bonus to clear on stars, which will be added to it. So this next week's just going to be pure grinding till Friday anyway, which will be fun, I imagine. But yeah, hopefully through these sort of video blog things, which I'll do for maybe once or twice a week, I'll review a bit of my play. I'm really only doing this to help me motivate myself to keep playing. If anyone's interested, fine. This one actually, I was going to talk about limit hold'em in the UK, because a friend of mine, Ben, who posts on Eat My Stack, I think he must have posted a link to my blog on one of their forum web pages, because I saw some links coming from there on the stats bit of Blogspot. So I thought I'd do one about UK players and talk a bit about UK players playing limit hold'em, because it's pretty rare. We're a pretty rare breed. I don't really know very many who do it, aside from me and my good friend Phil Newell. Yeah, so it's kind of a strange situation. I don't know how we really got into it ahead of No Limit, because that was the craze when we were younger. I mean, I've been playing poker for probably 7 or 8 years now. 7 or 8? Yeah, probably. And we've been playing Limit all the way from the start, even though we used to have like little get drunk and get stoned and play £5 cash games, which are all No Limit. So it's a bit strange to do it, to keep playing Limit anyway. But I've been playing it for so long now, I've progressed. But what I was going to talk about is diversifying your play. I don't just play Limit. I'd say I'm a decent heads up No Limit player. I'm a decent PLO 6 max player and heads up to some degree. I'm a good limit player in all forms, and I can pretty much play all the stud variants and triple draw well, which is really useful when game selecting, because when I'm not playing when I'm not doing this challenge, I would be like ruthlessly game selecting. Because it's just so much more relaxing and so much easier. You can have a much more relaxing life when you've just got like 100 games to choose from, and you're going to choose like the best 3 or 4 and just sit on the left of the fish and just print money. Players can be a lot worse in other forms of the game than they can be in Hold'em. There's far more scope for error, particularly in obviously stuff like PLO and the stud variants. Even though they are limit, like some people at Raz, just they're so bad. They just it is worth learning to play as well. 2 reasons. One, obviously online, having a good selection of games to play online is obviously good. But also live, I see a lot of players, especially like in the UK. Normally in a casino, you get, I don't know, say you take the Vic or somewhere, like 10 tables of No Limit, or like Dust Till Dawn. You take Dust Till Dawn, there's like 10 tables of No Limit going, and 2 tables of Dealer's Choice, or 1 table of Dealer's Choice, and then maybe a table of PLO if they're lucky. And you see all these people playing in these No Limit games with high rake, and you get some bad play. Well, at 1-2, obviously you're going to get terrible players wherever you go, really. But at the £2.5, £2, £5 No Limit, games, you're going to get reasonably tough players in it. So you find these people playing these games, which are like 7, maybe sort of like 1-2 no limit internet regs, and like maybe 1 or 2 bad players. Then in the table next door, on the dealer's choice, you're going to have like 7 Asian landlords, and you just sat there to yourself, like you got them all to yourself, and they don't care about the money. They just come there to like gamble. And it blows my mind how nobody, like not that many people play in those games. It's so surreal. They're literally just gold mines. And yeah, it's very strange that people sort of come down just to play in the no limit games, which are just not great, and possibly not even beatable with the levels of rake you get in the UK. Yeah, the only thing is you've got to be kind of friendly when you play in them. You get occasional sort of no limit play transgresses across and sits down, like caps, sunglasses, and iPod in, and then like the happy-go-lucky sort of banter at the table just diminishes as this guy sits there and eyeballs people down for the next 45 minutes. It's very, very frustrating. Yeah, so anyway, I've digressed. I played a little session now. I was just going to show you a couple of hands to show how exciting Limit Hold'em can be. It's probably going to be painfully dull, but here we go. Yeah, quick point about the table. Obviously, this character here, 74.5, is just terrible in any form of any game. Obviously, VPP and PFR, and then relatively competent bit too tight tag on my left. This is the perfect situation to be in, as the money on a poker table always moves in a clockwise direction. Just if you played forever, it would just move in a circle. Obviously, if everyone was of equal whatever. So this guy's going to lose his money to me. I'm going to lose money to this guy. This guy's going to blah 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 all the way around. So having position on this guy makes any game playable. Literally any game. You could have Stickman and then like all the Germans around here, and I'd still play in this game. So yeah, that would be like, it's important to realise the value of the Jesus seaters, so it's called. Anyway, here we go. It's pretty standard raise. The guy's incredibly passive, so you could make an argument for tightening up a tiny bit, but he's got very low went to showdown, so against this guy is only 35% of the time, and he's playing 74% of his hand. So literally against this guy, it is a raise and barrel situation. I'm going to raise and I'm going to barrel like pretty much all the time. I think there may be a couple of exceptions I don't, but for the most part, it's literally raise and just bet him, charge him to draw to the river, and then he'll fold if he doesn't have a pair. On the river here, I pair up, and he's got very strange aggression factor. He'll donk out and lead out with. He would have led out with a 10 or a 7, or if he had flatted like aces or something, he would have led out with it. So it's basically impossible for me to be behind here. He's got so many random things. Most of them are going to fold, but he might have a couple of pair of 2s, pair of 3s, maybe 4-4, maybe, I don't know, some ace high hand he wants to call, which I would have lost unless I'd improved to. But yeah, anyway, it's a value bet and he folds. Oh fuck. I might have to hand pick them actually. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I'm having to hand pick them because I forgot to select them all straight away. Anyway, another hand. This guy opens on the button. He's got a slightly tighter range going. 5-1 in the big blind with a call is going to be any 2 suited card, and to be honest, I'm going to have a huge range here. I'm going to have a massive number of combinations of cards in my hand. On this flop, I made a mistake here because I flopped 2 backdoor straight draws and a backdoor flush draw, and getting 8-1 is just, yeah, it's fine. Like this is super standard peel, and I obviously wasn't paying attention. I think I was watching the highlights from the Alex Reed Tom Watson fight, which is very good. Yeah, let me quickly grab up one more, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, this one. This one's against the fish, and it sort of illustrates the value of your hand. Like, the value of my hand here, literally, any 2 cards I'm going to be raising, he's going to be calling, and we're going to be seeing most of the way to the river. And he's going to fold some rivers. But on this river, like, I don't think he's going to fold ace high. I don't think he's got that many ace highs. I think even though he's got 5%, like, yeah, I don't think he's really got that many pair or value combinations. But at the same time, he will have some, and I beat pretty much all of his air with king high as it is. So if I bet here, I feel I'm just charging myself, and it's not a value bet, and it's not a bluff. And it's a mistake you see a lot of people make. Just blindly triple barrel rather, against people when they've got no fold equity, and there's like the bet on the river just doesn't go in as anything. It's just costing you money. It's just pointless. But yeah, anyway, so I saved myself $6, which is great. I'll go and buy a beer if I wasn't drinking. Actually, let's have one quick more. Where is it? This is definitely going to get edited, this bit. Yeah, okay. This sounds kind of interesting. It's a 5-10 table. The game is kind of... It's not great, really. This guy here is poor player. Like, stats are not too bad. I play very close to 40-30 myself, but he's very bad post flop. This guy's a poor player here, so I'm in a relatively decent seat. Like sort of weaky players and sort of standard tags. Like this guy's a good player. These are sort of the stats I tend to try and avoid. Everything else I think is kind of you can play against, especially these weak guys. Just run them over for fun, and then they just lose in the blinds. Anyway, okay, so it's all pretty standard so far. That cold call could mean just about anything with sort of passive 42% VPIPper. Now this guy leads into me, and this is just a super standard raise to isolate all these guys. These guys have probably got 6 outs against me a lot of the time, so combined that's going to be a lot of cards to fade. And ideally this guy probably wants to get it heads up as well. That's probably why he led into me, or he is a massive retard and he's just randomly clicking buttons, which is also possible. Anyway, so we get it heads up and he 3-bets. It's not a great result, but at the end of the day, there's no way I'm not really going to showdown here. I've a very hard time believing he's 3-betting 9s into me as if I've got an overpair. I don't think this really changes much on the flop. I really expect him to have small pair, or maybe I don't know. Really, it's a very confusing line for him to take. Maybe he has got a 9, but I don't see it happening all that often. He checks on the river, and I have a decision whether to value bet. This guy's perfectly capable of check raising, check raise bluffing, I would say, but I don't think I'd fold to him. So maybe I could bet call. He's got very high went showdown, so if he has been doing something particularly retarded, I think he probably will cool down still. But then again, it is possible you could have me beat. I think this probably on merit is a value bet, but I think it's really close. But I think I might be saying that in kind of results based thinking way. I thought there was a reasonable chance he could be check raising me on sexying me on the river with a 9, so I checked back. But yeah, anyway, he turns over complete airball. Yeah, I don't. His play is kind of crazy. But yeah, maybe checking back on the river is probably better. He is probably capable of doing some cool, crazy lines or cool lines. I'd quite like it if he check raised me with a 9 there. That'd be quite impressive. Yeah, okay, that would be the last hand, and I'm going to go back to grind. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye.